Okay. My name is Greg Marsh, and I'm with betterEyesightNow.com. I'm actually based in Colorado personally, and this is a webinar on naturally improving your eyesight. So it's the Bates method, that's kind of the central core of it. And then there's other techniques that are complementary to improving your eyesight. So one of the first things we want to start doing, and you can do this now, is take off your glasses if you can, not if you're driving, and maybe even if you can, run real quick, and if you have a contact lens case, maybe take that off. Because the thing is, hopefully during this webinar, you'll get some flashes, we call it, of better eyesight, of clearer eyesight. And the thing is, if your eyes are already fully corrected, then you won't really see better. You won't notice that something happened. So if you can do that, that'd be great. And here I'll even flash an eye chart. So a really good thing to do is just find a row, hopefully, at whatever distance is handy for you. Find a row that's fairly clear. And then, and if there's no row that's fully clear, you can walk closer to your computer. And then find a row that's kind of blurry. And so this is just to get a benchmark, to get a reference point. So then if your vision gets a little sharper, you'll notice the difference. So here, let's try an experiment just to see. Try palming, which is it's kind of the essential Bates technique. And you can rub your hands together if you want. Some people like to do that. And you'll find with the Bates method, a lot of it uses the imagination to create the stepping stones to really good things happening with your eyesight. So, okay. So let's say you're getting your hands all activated. And now let's palm. You might want to lean onto a table or something like that, just for a couple of minutes. And I'm going to just make a couple of suggestions. Let your breathing become very natural, which probably means slowing down. Let your shoulders drop. And let your fingers melt into your forehead even more, so that you feel a really deep relaxation through your shoulders and your arms. And then just imagine, or even pretend, that you can arrange all your body energy, kind of like Qigong, and direct it out through your shoulders, arms, elbows, wrists, palms. And now you're directing this relaxing and healing energy into your eyes. And so all the muscles around your eyes are relaxing and relaxing. And your eyes, which, because you're at this webinar, I'm guessing, are a little bit out of sorts. And usually, according to Dr. Bates, that means the eyes are contorted due to tight muscles. And the tight muscles come from stress or anxious thoughts or emotional worry. So just feel those muscles letting go, letting go. They might be a little shy at first. And now imagine, pretend that you can feel your eyes going back to their natural round shape. Now, on the count of 3, uncover your eyes, and let's leave them closed for a moment. 1, 2, 3, and uncover your eyes, but leave them closed. And we just did a couple minutes, but sometimes it's nice to go a little slower now. Now, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. So now, just blink a lot, look at the eye chart or some other reference point you might have used, and see if you notice anything is more clear. I guess if you're looking at presbyopia, like another name for the need for reading glasses, then you might want to actually find something printed, maybe find a book or a magazine or something you have near your computer. And you can keep using that as a reference point. And like a magazine or even something you got in the mail is usually going to have different sizes of type for the heading, and then smaller and smaller. And so if anybody, let's see, let's go back. Okay. So anybody noticed, even from those 2 minutes, that your eyesight got a little more clear? Maybe wave at me, hold up your hand. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Wow, Aini, you're here. Wow, it must be the middle of the night there. She said she'd probably be asleep in Finland. Howdy. Do you want to say hi? Or take your hand away if it's truly the middle of the night and you don't want to say hi. I'll understand. If you do. Okay. Hi, Aini. Oh, you have to click your microphone to be able to talk. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fine, thank you.
Yeah.
I already woke up an hour before.
Wow.
I missed the mountain time and central time.
Oh no, you got up an hour extra early?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say hello.
Hello. Bye.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. It's nice to talk to you. And
yeah, we need to talk on Skype someday.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks. So, yeah, Aini and I have been comparing notes on things. She's certified in faster EFT, which is a kind of a cousin of EFT, and doing a lot of other really interesting things. So maybe we'll get her to say something later about all that. So let's see. So I saw several hands. Leave your hand up if you want to say hi. Carrie, would you like to say hi? Leave your hand up if you'd like to. Oh, no. Okay, sorry to put you on the spot. Would you like to? Okay, allow to talk. Hi, Carrie.
Hello. Can you hear
Great.
me?
I can hear you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And I did get your email.
Great. I'm sorry for being so late.
I actually printed it out. Hang on a sec here. Yeah. Would it be okay with you if I read
Absolutely.
your email? Okay. And yeah, Carrie's kind of an interesting case. It's kind of in the middle of what we're all trying to do. And is it all right if I say what your profession is?
Absolutely. You can say, yeah, I have nothing either. You have no restrictions about what you share about me.
Okay. Yeah, she's a chiropractor and she's way into alternative healing. Would that be a fair thing to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, hi, Greg. Not sure if this is too late for tonight, but I was traveling and just driving home and noticed that when I drive, this has been the case for 3 or 4 months, I am really squinting hard. And that said, I am however many years old. I won't say that.
Well, you can say, because most people expect to have reading glasses by that age.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's pretty special
Okay.
that people are surprised that I don't. So
Cool. Okay. So that said, I'm 59 and I don't wear bifocals, which I attribute to working with you a few years back. I do wear glasses for distance since age 13 or so, and have not had them checked or changed for about 20 years. Yep, you read that right. 20. When I'm in a car with others, I check to see if they can read signs, and I'm able to read them as well, or better usually. So I figure I'm being a safe, responsible driver. That sounds like a good system. And you pass the driver's test too, which is, that makes you legal, right?
I guess.
Yeah. All of which makes me wonder about what feels like intense strain when currently driving. You should probably know that I had an episode of spinal cord demyelination, like an MS, but not MS, 5 years ago, and continue to be in healing mode from that. So, yeah, thanks for sharing all that. And
Yeah.
I should have asked you to just tell it. That would be more interesting. Did you want to add anything to that?
No, just, some fatigue is a result of all of that, some chronic fatigue issues. So driving has been really high stimulation for me. But I'm doing better and better and able to do more and drive more. So this little bit of that just squinting and visual intensity is kind of new. It's interesting. And I remember previously you gave some tips about driving, some things that were helpful when driving.
Yeah. My best tip is whenever you drive, close your eyes. No, I'm kidding.
This
But
is why I don't listen to everything you say.
okay. Okay. Yeah, just give you a little challenge so that you have to go through to get the gems. Okay. So, yeah, I really like, uh, you know, like doing whatever we can to get out of logical comparing notes. Logic is good, and humans, we have logic. It's really useful. It's really great. But it's so nice if we can get more intuitive. So one way that I like doing that is, maybe even just moving, like now I'm kind of swaying back and forth, which is a basic Bates technique. And even as are you swaying too? Or
Sure.
could you?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you, if you would? Sorry.
In a box?
Yeah.
With a fox? Okay. So, sorry. So already, now that we're both swaying, this helps us both get into a more intuitive mode, right? Okay. And then maybe even closing our eyes might help a little more. And now just kind of imagining that kind of event or saga that you had 5 years ago. And is it okay if I ask you, did that follow kind of an emotional, challenging time by any chance?
Because it's considered idiopathic. There's no known cause for what occurred in the end.
Uh-huh.
I jokingly say it was because of the garage sale I did a month before. It was really stressful.
Maybe it was.
Other than
Yeah.
that, I don't have a specific associated with that, other than it's just where life took me.
Yeah. So this is like one of my favorite books. I always flash it at these webinars, and you're probably familiar with it, right?
I do believe I have that.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. Yeah, and
But have I
unfortunately,
looked at it recently? No.
oh, okay. I
So,
pull it out pretty often. Here, I'll show it to people. Oh, it's reversing my screen so that I can think that I'm looking in a mirror.
except that we can see it
So
as it
you see
is.
it correctly,
Yeah, we
but
see it. Mhm.
yeah, so this is a wonderful book if you're interested in the emotional causes of eye conditions and other things. And I just thought, now you said similar, do you think it's kind of energetically similar to MS?
Neurologically, it is. So
Neurologically.
demyelination is the loss of the insulating factor to your nerves and spinal cord.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just looking, under MS. It doesn't necessarily seem on the money, but the affirmation is, by choosing loving, joyous thoughts, I create a loving, joyous world. I am safe and free. That's probably good medicine anyway, right?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Related or
Okay.
not, I like it.
Okay. So one of the things, I bet you struggle with this too, Carrie, is, doctors have a pretty long list of protocols of this is this name of disease and it has these symptoms and this is this and it has these. And eyesight too. But here, close your eyes again, and maybe we could even palm for a moment, and people could use this as a chance to do some more palming.
I'm still swaying. Should I stop that?
Actually, try an experiment and see if just some slight swaying is kind of nice with palming.
Oh yeah, like that.
Yeah, I use that often, because here now, if you stop swaying, it's like and then you start swaying again.
There's more tension not swaying. It's interesting.
Oh, okay.
Attempting to be still is.
Yeah. So that then the riddle becomes like, what is relaxation and what is being still? And so Dr. Bates says we cannot have relaxation without movement. So yeah, I like that. Since you asked, let's just keep swaying a little bit while we palm. And maybe everybody can notice, stop again. And here we'll tie this together with a recurring question today of computer strain. And let's say you're looking at your computer, you're still palming, but you're imagining that you're looking at your computer and you've stopped moving. And see, this is the heart of the riddle of computer strain, is that we stop and notice, and I'm putting this out to everybody generally, notice that when you become quite still, that you stop breathing. Anybody notice that? I could say, put your hand up, but then you'd have to stop palming, and I would too. So, okay. So I'll just pretend that I can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a big part of the riddle. It's like, so palming and swaying. Okay, so now, whatever the disease is, And whatever the doctor called it and whatever the protocols are, you do still have to drive. And you've noticed more and more tension in your eyes. So now, okay, you're driving your car, become still again. I mean, stillness can have a very vibrant meaning, but we're talking about where you actually kind of freeze, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're like that in the car, I don't know, I notice I can feel a little tightness in my belly, in the whole digestive area, a little tightness in my neck and shoulders. What do you notice, Carrie?
Mm-hmm. Actually, a similar thing. It's interesting. Yeah. The belly
Okay.
thing I didn't really expect.
So
There is
now,
a breath holding. Yeah.
yeah, so say you're driving in your car and you're still or kind of frozen like that. That's not quite the right word, but you're like not moving. And it's kind of it's like it almost creates more and more stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now pretend you're in the car and you can just sway a little bit. That wouldn't be too dangerous, would it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it'd probably actually be better that way. Okay, so now stop palming. And here we won't even counter anything. We'll just open our eyes.
Yeah.
But tell me what that makes you think.
It makes me think that when you're in the car, you're under the illusion. There's the illusion of movement. I mean, the car's moving, all the stuff is moving. No, and all the stuff is moving around you, and other cars are moving.
Yeah.
But you're not really. What you're saying is, it's like we're excessively still when we're in the car, but we think we're moving.
Right.
But I think we get in it's similar to a computer where you're in a stare.
Exactly. Yeah.
Staring and
Yeah.
still gripping a wheel, and yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that out. And you know, a lot of people asked about computer strain, and you can see where it would apply for that too. Of course, chiropractors never have computer strain, right?
No.
Of
Not very
course.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's, can I ask one question then? So that's where, like, sitting at a ball on your computer, the tendency is to move slightly.
I think that's a brilliant thing to
When
do.
you're sitting on a ball, you can't sit still.
Right. If you do sit still, you'll fall over.
You just don't. You tend to
Yeah.
sway,
Yeah. Because
and
you've got to
bob
keep
and bounce a
got to
little
keep balance, so you're in constant motion. And like right now, I'm at a standing desk, and I like to stand, or sometimes I sit on a stool that's pretty high. And then I've got also one of those sticks with a seat on the end of it. They're
bit.
way
Oh,
more
yeah.
they're way more comfortable than you'd think. So movement
Very good.
is the heart of the matter, right?
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Like
thanks, Carrie. Thanks for helping bring that out.
Thank you.
And
Very helpful.
really nice to talk with you, and keep me posted.
We'll talk soon.
Okay, great.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Okay. So now, Sylvia, you've got your hand up. Wow, I'm knowing lots of people here. Would you like to talk? Let's see. Now you just have to unmute your microphone. So you'll see a microphone with a red line somewhere on your.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I sure can. And I actually noticed what you had written. And by the way, thanks to everybody who did write something down. There's never any pressure to do that, but it gives me ideas of things. And like in this case, when I saw Sylvia's name with her hand up, I remembered. Oh, okay. So describe what you have going on, Sylvia.
Well, actually, I have a lot of dim vision going on because it appears that in my 3 months in New Zealand last year, I did not protect myself from the morning and the evening sun. I was protecting myself from the bright sun overhead. And apparently the morning and evening sun can be dangerous for cataracts. And I seem to have developed cataracts which are inoperable because of my macular degeneration, apparently. But anyway, I've had such difficult experiences with the ophthalmologist that I just stopped going. And I know that your approach with deep relaxation is always the most wonderful. So I have been, I do a trade with a massage therapist friend who gives me cranial sacral, and my eyes just melt, you know. I feel absolutely wonderful. And so I'm just attempting to keep my eyes as relaxed as possible, and also remove the you know, I still have this long-standing pattern since I was like 6 years old of protecting, using my eyes in a bad way. So I'm unlearning those bad habit patterns of holding my emotions back in my eyes.
Okay, now let me slow you down.
Yeah. Okay.
For one thing, and just highlighting this.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's helpful to have another person listen, and you might say the same thing to a friend. But I noticed you're using the word bad a lot.
Oh, okay.
Like bad habits and.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
And so I'm just pointing that out because, you know, your eyes are listening, right?
Yes. Yes. Exactly, Greg. And thank you. I hadn't even noticed until you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes, and you know, okay, so I do want to tell you that my left eye is improving, and in the quality of light right now, because it gets dark so early now, my left eye sees more in kind of a dusk atmosphere, and it's really encouraging for me because it was almost blind at one point.
So it's
and
gotten better?
Coming back, yes, coming back.
And the left eye is the weaker?
That is indeed. And it's a family pattern. My mother lost her vision in the left eye, my grandmother, her mother. It goes back way back.
Okay.
For some reason.
Well, you know me, I'm always most fascinated with the emotional.
Well, me too.
So I think that what we call genetics often is emotional genetics that, you know, our mom did the best she could do, our dad did the best he could do. Sometimes it's pretty good, sometimes it's not so good. You know, we do the best we can do and we pass it on. But I think sometimes the word miasm might be too strong, but you know, there's a pattern or a habit that our mom or dad do, and then we might pass it along.
And also, Greg, may I say, a big blind spot.
Pun intended, huh?
Yeah, a big blind spot. I've noticed when I get there emotionally and put myself in that place. Yes, a big taboo, a big blind spot, a big deficit on an emotional level. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do a short guided visualization because you probably know I'm quite fond of.
Yes, me too.
Visualization. Okay, and people can palm if you want to. And I'll try to make this for Sylvia, but also a lot of people asked about cataracts, macular degeneration, and glaucoma. But so let's kind of wrap all those together. And so now, palm if you want. I'm just going to, sometimes a visualization, it's nice to just sit or even recline, just kind of real comfortably. So first, and you might even want to try recording your own voice. And the secrets of guided visualization, I think, are just talk slowly and remind the other person to breathe. So I'm talking so slowly, but it actually really works. It helps kind of tease your mind into a deep relaxation. So now close your eyes and just let yourself feel supported. in the chair or however you're reclining. Let your shoulders drop and just kind of scan your whole body and find places that can become more relaxed. And now, just think of the eyes and all they've been doing and how hard they've been working, sometimes overworking. And also, sometimes the eyes, and in Sylvia's case, especially the left eye, sometimes when we might have an emotional challenge or just a lot of stress, and you mentioned the trip, and even trips can be stressful too. But whatever it is, just realize all the muscles around the eyes often will go into an alarm state just to try and protect us, because they really, really love us, and our eyes and the muscles really want us to feel safe. So sometimes that means making it so that we can't see what's out there, so that it won't be as scary. So now, just as you continue breathing, it's almost as if you can breathe into that eye, into both eyes, and it enhances and amplifies the relaxation. And you can feel that left eye, or whatever whichever eye, has been clamping down all those muscles. It makes it hard for the blood to circulate. It makes it hard for the eyes to receive the nutrients and the oxygen that do get there. So notice now, as you're relaxing and relaxing and relaxing, notice how the eyes are circulating the blood more easily and receiving all the nutrients and all the oxygen more easily. And if you just consider the life force that's always circulating through the body, now you're letting more life force into your eyes. And so your eyes are getting ready, whether it's cataract or glaucoma or whatever, your eyes are getting ready to see more clearly. And healing, or shall we say even the status of the eyes and other organs, they're always either getting better or they're getting less better. They never just stay static. So see that teeter-totter going the other way and see the getting better winning. And appreciate how much you can affirm this with just thinking really positive thoughts about your eyes. Okay, and so that's just a short guided visualization. Now go ahead and open your eyes. So, yeah, hopefully I didn't knock you out, Sylvia.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes some of the best successes I've had working with people with cataracts, we do all the bait stuff. They take, here's a couple of things I just happen to have handy. There's a naturopathic, I don't know if you can see this or not. Yeah, I think it's showing. But if you look it's sold on Amazon, among other places, and it's usually the same company, but it's, the key ingredient is Cineraria, Cineraria. C-I-A. Did I miss a syllable? Area. C-I-N-E-R-A. I can't spell. Go on Google and look up cataract homeopathic, and you'll see a ton of really heartwarming testimonials. And then there's another, it's called Can See, the word C-A-N. It's like a pun. I can, C-A-N dash the letter C. And it has, I can never pronounce the nutrient that's in there, but
Inositol carnosine.
thank you. Wow, you're on it.
I use it.
Cool. And do you use the homeopathic also?
Yes, I do. And Walida put that out years ago, Cineraria maritima, which is dusty miller, which is a pretty common garden plant with this grayish green fuzzy leaf and a little yellow flower. But Walida did it, and now it's Boyron, I believe, who puts it in a formula with a lot of other things. And I think it's an amazing homeopathic formula. It does have some preservatives in it, but I do use it, and my eyes seem to like it. I precede it with a little MSM to just open things up for it.
Yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I don't know how you're going to...
MSM seems kind of magical, and just something you might want to know if you're interested in MSM. Again, if you go on Amazon, there's one that has hundreds of reviews. 4 Eyes, their drops. The only thing is the FDA intervened a couple years ago and said that they can no longer tell people to put drops in their eyes. Now they only say to take it orally.
Oh.
And I'm no doctor, so I can't advise anybody. But MSM drops, and I just have some here too. Here's some MSM plus colloidal silver. And, that's a whole nother thing. People have different ideas about colloidal silver, but here's just a straight up MSM.
Well, I put some vitamin C in my MSM because
cool.
My eyes love it. I used to have vitamin C drops, so I figured it, and I used to have MSM drops, so I just combined them and made my own.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. So
thank you, Greg. I don't know how you're going to get rid of me, though, because I don't know how to mute now.
Oh, no, I'm never going to get rid of you. Actually,
thank you so much for that support. It was wonderful.
Very welcome, and thanks for bringing it up. Okay, I'll mute you now. Thanks. Yeah. So, Sabrina, how about Sabrina's? Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, hello, Greg.
Yeah.
I spoke to you a couple of times last year. I got into your program through Dr. Macular.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pretty bad facial nerve pain for many years, and I couldn't work on the computer. Just in the past 1 year also, I've been practicing palming. I was using music. I played some soothing music in the background while I was doing palming. Sometimes I do it half an hour, sometimes I do 20 minutes, sometimes I do it 1 hour. It's amazing. Now I can work on computer now. I still experience some normal eye strain, but not a full-blown facial nerve pain, which usually will last for days, and I couldn't work. But it's amazing. I think next year I'm going to use the things that I learned from you to give them 44. So, and I started having kind of when I read small fonts, I can still read them, but sometimes I feel that it is a little bit blurry. I think next year I'm going to focus on that.
Now are you talking about a side effect of the nerve pain, or are you just talking about normal visual quality?
Normal visual quality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you say you still have some pain sometimes.
Nerve pain, sometimes I would say 90% of it is gone. yeah, just once in a while I still have some normal eye strain, but not much
Okay.
comparing to what I had in the past, which was outrageous. I couldn't
Yeah.
work at all.
Okay. Well, here, I'm going to just, can you see my sketch pad now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let's say this is the eye.
Yeah.
And this is the smile. Anyway, you know, of course, there's two eyes. There's another eye over here. They go over and see. And, you know, I just want to mention to you, I had a person come, they actually came from Europe to the vision coach training that we have. And this person, she had an incredible pain behind her left eye, and it just would not go away. And she was all but bedridden for a couple of years.
Mm.
And she even brought her husband along when she came to the training. And all the doctors in her country had, you know, gave it all these like multiple syllable Latin names. And basically they all translated as pain behind one eye that just won't go away. Really helpful, right?
Yeah, that's what they said about my facial nerve pain. They examined
Okay, well,
everything.
here's what I want to tell you. Here's what I want to tell you. See, I think there's different levels of healing. Think about this.
Yeah.
You know, there's the healing where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, and then you go and repeat 1, 2, 3. And this is important, you know, but also, are you familiar, Sabrina, with let's see, Dr. Emoto's water crystals?
No, I've never heard about it.
Well, a lot of people probably are that are listening, and I'll just explain it to you a little bit. Dr. Emoto, Japanese man who I think he died a couple years ago, but he did some amazing research that was presented in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know about 15 years ago. Wonderful movie. And so, you know, basically he'd pretend this is a crystal, you know, like a snowflake or something, but, you know, just something really,
Shiny.
yeah, something really pretty and something really symmetrical and all that. And he found, and I guess it was through freezing, but he would identify water crystals. And so he'd get, if the water was from a really pure source, he'd get just the beautiful picture of a water crystal. But if it was polluted, he'd get like, you know, you could almost see an ugly face in the photo of the water crystal. But then when he had a priest bless, I spelled priest backwards. Pretend I spelled it right. Okay. But when a priest blessed it, then it became, you know, different. It became its own unique thing, but it became beautiful like the other crystal. And the reason I'm saying that is I think that sometimes things can change really fast. So this woman that came to the training, I just decided to put some attention on her the very first morning of our first day. And we spent like 45 minutes doing EFT. Are you familiar with EFT?
No, I heard about it, but
Yeah, I love it. I use it pretty much with any client that's game, and we use it at the workshops too. I try to, you know, empower people when we have workshops to feel like they know all the tapping points and all that.
right.
So here I'll stop the share here. Okay. So, yeah, so the EFT, here I'll even, let's pretend we could tap just real spontaneously. And you want to just follow me? Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you very
Okay.
well.
So, even though I have these challenges, and just say that, repeat that if that's okay.
Even if I have the facial nerve pain, but it's
The
okay.
facial nerve pain. I love and appreciate myself anyway, just as I am.
I love and appreciate myself anyway, just as I am.
Okay, and this is called the setup, and usually do that 3 times. So even though I've had a lot of pain with this,
Even though I have a lot of facial nerve pain,
yeah, I love and appreciate myself just as I am.
I love and appreciate myself just as I am.
Yeah, and even though it seems like it has to last a long time,
Even though it seems that it has to last for a long time,
I'd be really happy if it went away quicker.
I'd be really happy it went away quicker.
Yeah, so now just pausing, we're going to do the tapping the other part. But now, a really helpful thing to do with EFT is to score from 0 to 10. 0 being, this isn't even a problem, I don't need to tap on this, and 10 being it's the top of the scale.
Yeah.
But if you were to score how frustrating this is or how painful it is, you could go either route. On a scale 0 to 10, what would you say? It sounds like it's better than it used to be.
I would say 1.
Oh, so it's almost gone.
Yeah, it's 90% gone. It was
Cool.
amazing, incredible. I only did palming.
Okay. And
Yeah.
so now that you said it's just a 1, that we don't have a big thing to tap on, but let's go ahead just to show where the points are.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people start here. I like to start and end at the head personally. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And so I'm tapping on the remaining level 1 of pain.
I'm tapping on the remaining level 1 of pain.
Okay. And it seems crazy to think that it might disappear just from EFT.
It seems crazy. It's going to disappear just from EFT.
But I'll humor Greg since he wanted to show EFT.
Okay, but Greg to show me.
Yeah. So I'm tapping on that pain.
I'm tapping on that pain.
Yeah, I'm tapping on that pain.
I'm tapping on that pain.
And you can just do this over and over again. Just say, I'm tapping on that pain.
I'm tapping on that pain.
Tapping on that pain.
I'm tapping on that pain.
Yeah, which is only a 1 now.
Which is only a 1 now.
But I'd love to let it go to a 0.
But I love it to go to 0.
Yeah, but not today.
But not today.
Maybe next year sometime.
Maybe next year sometime.
Yeah. It seems too crazy to think that tapping would make it go away.
It seems crazy to think that tapping will make it go away.
And see, what you notice is as you're tapping, you just have kind of a nice feeling all through your body, right?
Yeah, it's very, I find it very relaxing.
Yeah. And I forgot to say, people that are watching might want to be tapping too. And if you haven't yet, you can still pick this up. It's just watching it is one thing, but if you tap along with it, then you're, pun intended, you're tapping into, the greater system. So I'm tapping on that remaining pain.
I'm tapping on that remaining pain.
And I should have called out where these places are, but you can kind of see. And you can find online stuff about EFT also.
Should I only tap on the pain point?
No.
Or tap everywhere?
No, it's really best to just tap on all these places, like top of the head, above the eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, and the chin, collarbone, then under the armpit, like say like 3 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, you can feel kind of a nice, it just gives kind of a nice feeling. And I find when I do it with clients, it really helps us get out of the talking linear mode, which, as Einstein said, how can you expect to solve a problem by using the same approach that got you into the problem? So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So I love that quote. Yeah. So, anyway, so is that the main thing that you were?
Yeah, I think in the new year, what I'm going to focus on, since the nerve pain is mostly gone, I think next year my main focus is I started having some, when I read small fonts very, very closely. I have some blurry vision. That's, I think, because I'm 44, I think it's a starting point to, if I don't do anything, it's probably going, maybe in 10 years, I have to use reading glasses, something like that.
Okay.
So
Well,
next year, I want to reverse that to a normal vision. That's my ambition.
good. Well, it's kind of paradoxical because in a way, Dr. Bates is telling us that we're doing too much in the way of, I haven't pulled out my balloons yet. So my trademark. So Dr. Bates is saying, oh, we're doing too much. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So in a way, your mission that you want to do, like you say, for the next, especially 10 years to avert this, is it's not so much that you want to work on it. It's like you want to unwork on it.
Oh, okay.
And the Bates method is really good for that. And visualization is really good for that.
Should relax into it.
And breathing exercises are really good for that. And yoga is really good for that.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, thanks so much for bringing this
thank
up
you so much. Thank you.
Given a chance to look at some more things that I think, based on a lot of the questions that people talked, cataracts, far, near, astigmatism. Yeah, and somebody wrote about a joint connective Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which, isn't the same at all, but it's a little bit analogous. Another person, I lost my vision in my right eye after my husband died. Could that be related? And I would say absolutely yes. And I think, one of the things, and if you don't mind me going a little of a windy road here, Sabrina, just to spread this out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, one of the big things about cataract, Louise Hay says that cataract, and again, here's the Louise Hay book, which I think it's dirt cheap. It's just a thin little book. It's a wonderful resource. Yeah. So one of the big things with cataract is usually somebody's had a big loss in their life. And so, what they really need to do, rather than just be in a state of fear now about their cataract, is to jump back into their life in a fresh way and expect something really fun to happen. So, so there, I'm just trying to tie together some loose ends. So, but thanks, Sabrina, for
Thank you so
on
much
to talk. Very welcome. Nice to talk to you again, right?
Yeah. Nice to talk to you.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and mute you. Okay. Thanks again, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Okay. So yeah. How about if we're getting near the end, how about if I just mention, well, for one thing, I don't know if people have been palming some more, but I'll put that eye chart back up. And one person was asking about centralization, which is maybe a little more advanced than we can do right now in a webinar. But the thing is, if you look at this eye chart now and you just start swaying and you blink a lot, Now, I guess I thought you'd be able to see me in the corner. I don't know if you can or not. I'm just kind of swaying. And now blink a lot. And don't try to see any letter. In fact, try not to see them. Try to keep moving across the row. And what you'll notice as you do that is that one of the letters will just pop out at you once in a while. Or maybe even a whole row will pop out. You just keep relaxing your shoulders, moving back and forth. And it's a nice way to move is almost like you're a willow tree in the wind. And you're just being moved. And then what centralization is, which is a key Bates point, Dr. Bates, and Dr. Bates called it central fixation. But whatever you call it, the fact is that the smaller part of a letter we look at, the more clear our eyesight's going to be. If we try to look at several letters at once, it's for sure going to be blurry. So, so that's just a tiny little tease of centralization. Now, while, let's see, as we're getting close to the end of the time, I just wanted to mention that we have a workshop coming up, and the workshops, does anybody want to pop on for a second that was in a workshop and wanted to say anything about what it was like? Okay. Anyway, there might be a couple of people that were at workshops. But anyway, oh, Pat. I'll let Pat say howdy. Hi, Pat. Oh, you have to.
Got it. Did I unmute myself? Yes.
Cool. Yeah. Well, nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
And you actually did the vision coach training.
Right. And I couldn't pass up this opportunity when you said, is there anyone who would like to say something about it?
Oh, cool.
It was fabulous. Fabulous.
Okay.
I mean, now that I'm a vision coach, teacher, and therapist, that all aside, I tell everyone that I meet how life-changing it was for me personally. So I would encourage anyone who is possibly considering it or sitting on the fence, you go in with an open mind, and the things that it can do to change your life are mind-blowing. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. I learned a great deal, met nice people there, and just apply the principles on a daily basis to life that I learned there. So it really was an invaluable experience.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I got to be in Colorado too.
Yeah. Yeah. Now the training that we do it's 4 days here, and this one will be in Fort Collins, Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
and it's in June, and then we continue online. And yeah, well, it was delightful having you in the class, Pat.
I was glad to be there. Thank you too for all the support before and after. It was wonderful information.
Yeah. Yeah. And you used to, you were already doing so many holistic and helpful things in your life, and you kind of blended it in a really nice way with other things I sensed.
Yeah. I'd also say too about the go for the training, or whether I guess what you have workshops for future coaches, but also maybe just some training. I'm not sure how you designed it, but
however somebody likes to do it. Yeah.
I'm sure, because what I was going to say is that before I'd made the decision to go to Colorado, I'd actually been, if you want to say, dabbling in natural vision improvement on my own, but I could never have reached the level that I did when I went out there and actually got support from you So I think there's a huge difference between trying to figure out natural vision improvement on your own with textbooks or, YouTube support. All those things are wonderful, but I think those come after you've had some personal coaching of your own. I mean, it just that made the world of difference, because I was 4 years in the making of trying to understand all this, and it wasn't until I had the personal coach, that the whole world opened up to that whole vision improvement understanding.
Cool. Thanks for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
the synergy of the people is just
Yes.
pretty wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we had a nice group.
We did.
So,
we did.
okay. Well, thanks so much, Pat, for jumping in there. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm going to mute myself now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, let's see. Karen. How about if I say hi to Karen? Hi. Well, let's see. Oh, maybe I didn't. The thing is, the list keeps jumping around. It's kind of tricky. It's kind of like a pinball machine or something.
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah, you had your hand up, I noticed, for a little while, and I just thought I'd say hello.
Thank you, that's very kind.
Where are you from?
Well, I'm from New Zealand, and so it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon here.
Oh,
and
cool.
something that Sylvia said earlier just sort of prompted a thought, because she mentioned that she'd got damage to her eyes through early morning and late evening sun while she was in New Zealand. And that prompted my thought that one of the things that you say is about, I think you call it sunning, I'm not sure, where you close your eyes and let the light go in your eyes for a while. And I had a question about that, and I may have made an incorrect assumption. So my assumption that I made from that was that if our eyes need light, perhaps I shouldn't wear my sunglasses all the time, I thought to myself. And then when I heard Sylvia say that, I thought, oh, I'll check with Greg.
Those are great questions. And yeah, like Sylvia earlier, when she mentioned that she did morning and evening, or got morning and evening sun, I sensed that maybe somebody had told her that was not good, but morning and evening are like fantastic. And if you're worried about UV, there's no UV. It's almost zero, in the early morning and late morning. Is that partly a little bit of what you're saying, Karen?
Well, I guess my main question is, should I wear sunglasses all of the time that I think I need them, or should I try and go without at certain times because it's good for my eyes?
Well, this is that treacherous land for me. I have to say before and after I say anything else, I'm not an eye doctor. I can't make a medical recommendation, but I virtually never wear sunglasses myself. And only like if I'm going to be like in the snow, and I might get snowblind or something, or on a lake and the sun's shining right at you, or maybe that window of traffic that you'll have in certain highways that, like, for 3 days of the year the sun's going to be like shining right in your eyes and you can't see. You're just driving down the road, you really can't see. But Dr. Bates was very enthusiastic about sunning, and I'm certainly enthusiastic. And I'll even give a pitch that if somebody can find a fairly bright spotlight or floodlight, incandescent light, that it's even indoor sunning can be very powerful. But I don't. What's your sense of it, Karen?
Well, prior to meeting you and learning your bits and pieces, I had worn sunglasses probably more than perhaps most people. I've got eyes that are quite sensitive to light, and I do feel like I'd like to wear them quite often. But
now did you say sensitive to light?
Well, I always used to think they were. So my doctor many years ago told me that my pupils were particularly large and let in a bit more light, but whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Now, let's see. Go a little slower for me. I love your accent. Could you say that last sentence again?
A eye doctor years ago told me that my pupils were particularly large and let in a lot of light.
Wow. I don't know. He sounds like. Do you ever feel like you wish you could unhear things that people say?
Yes.
I don't know. And are your eyes sensitive?
I wouldn't have thought so, but I do, the New Zealand sun is pretty bright. I do like to wear sunglasses.
I'm in Colorado. I'm at 5,000 feet, and we get sun almost every day here.
Mm.
And supposedly you're supposed to wear sunglasses here.
Yes.
And you're supposed to be paranoid about the sun. And, I'd urge anybody who's interested in that whole question is, there are really like two schools of thought. And one is, that the sun is very aggressive, and if it shines on your eye, you will get cataracts. That's how emphatic some ophthalmologists are. And then there are other people that say, wow, if you don't get enough sun, you can take the chemical vitamin D, but you are not going to get enough vitamin D. And plus your eyes let in, if you're blocking all the UV with your sunglasses, you're like depriving a primitive need that the body has to receive all these, UV light things. So
Yes,
I'd
I
urge people to
realise
educate themselves. And like one website that has a lot on that is Dr. Mercola, which is mercola.com.
yes.
And alas, it's one of those things, we only have one life to experiment with.
Mm.
And we make a few mistakes and we do a few things right. But I know personally, I get all the sun I can.
Okay.
So
Thank
great,
you.
great question. And thanks for attending all the way from New Zealand. You're tied for Nepal from being the other side of the world.
Oh, okay. Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks a lot, Karen.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, yeah. So I think it's 10 after. We've gone a little more than an hour, and I can track the number of participants, and it's people are hanging on pretty well, but starting to lose a few. So let's wrap this up, and maybe just go back to what we were doing at the beginning of a little bit of swaying and blinking. And now let the head turn a little bit. And now let the hips turn and the torso. And this becomes the Bates lung swing. Which you see, if we're highly nearsighted, which several of you were, there's a lot of tight muscles in the neck, the shoulders, and all through in between the ribs. These muscles are like 24/7 in full activation mode. So notice one of the beautiful things about the long swing, if you let yourself do it, and if you let yourself open to it, is it kind of works all those muscles. Here, I'll use my balloon again. Kind of in a way that if you let it, and see, going slow is, for most people, I've found they tend to go at a faster speed than what's really the most helpful. Okay, so yeah, we opened by talking about movement, and now just sometimes the big movement. Margaret Corbett, who studied directly with Dr. Bates and wrote a couple of wonderful books, they're worth tracking down. Margaret Corbett, she talked about how sometimes if a person's stressed at all or anxious, sometimes it's better to work the big muscles first. Okay. And just here, I'll throw in a techie point, you know, on the lung swing. And you can make it a little like a hula, you know, so that your body's kind of unwinding each time rather than just, you know, something that's a slow robot. Okay, so each time you turn and you commit your hip, just make it 180. That's what Dr. Bates suggested. So the trailing heel comes up off the ground. Okay, and I'm really glad that Karen brought up sunning, because sunning, you know, basically, wow, it's perfect. I have the sun. So the sunning, and I'll stop in just a minute, I promise. Okay, so the sunning is, you know, I recommend closed eye sunning. And basically, at first it might feel really bright, but even if you're quite sensitive to the sun, you're going to find that within a couple or 3 weeks, that your eyes are going to be truly transformed, because the brightness, especially when you close your eyes, the brightness kind of guides the eyes to letting go and relaxing. So, okay. So again, oh, if you have hung on this long, I'll just give you a little teaser. We've got a new website now, and it will enable us to do like a few more creative things. I mean, I still sell a few CD programs, but their CDs are pretty much extinct now. So things are available downloadable. And then also what I am intending, or what I'm aiming for pretty soon, is to have a kind of a free, but it'll be a membership. So you have to actually join it. And it'll have a lot of the basics and the webinars and things like that. And then, of course, you know, I still do this for a living. So then I'll have more advanced things that can be worked in, more from streaming things and some online classes. And then one other thing that I'm really looking forward to trying out is just feel like I'd like to get a lot more systematic about getting successes with cataracts and glaucoma and macular degeneration, you know, as much as possible. And so I might be, by about April, looking for some test groups to do some of those things, and find out, you know, in a small group, what kinds of progress people can make. So anyway, so I'm having fun with all this, and that's some of the stuff on the horizon. And maybe I'll see some of you at the workshop in April, or even the training that Pat was talking about in June. And then the training we continue online. So that's our webinar. And I shouldn't say tonight, because it's not tonight in New Zealand or Nepal. And also, I'll send this out as a replay. So, okay, so end meeting. Now I can wave goodbye. And I'd love to have everybody chime in and say good night, but on the webinar version, I can't do that. Is anybody still there? If you can unmute, and I think Sabrina and Karen and
I'm still here.
Hi, goodbye. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I think I have 4 people that could still talk. Okay, well, thanks all of you. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.